بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين وبعد. Every single morning when we wake up and we go through our day, we often commit deeds and sins because of which we're regretful. But not all of the sins are of the same level. In one hadith, we learn that the most severe and grave action that a person commits is not from the hands, not from the feet, not from the sight, but it's the tongue. And in fact, the severity of the sins of the tongue are so great that every morning when we wake up, each limb in our body cries out to Allah and seeks forgiveness on behalf of the tongue. I want you to think about that for a moment. Imagine you have a group project. You have to get it done by the end of the month. Everybody has their part to play, but there's one person on that team that doesn't do his work. In fact, there's one person on that team that's counterproductive, is dragging everyone else down. The group is gonna get together, go to the project manager and complain and say, look, we're all doing our work, but this person is the reason there's a holdup. Do you think the project manager is going to say, oh, it's fine, I'll deal with him separately? No, everybody's responsible, because in the end of the day, you have to present that project, that final product, as a team. On the Day of Judgment, we can't just unscrew our tongue and put it to the side and say, Ya Allah, you take care of the tongue, it is responsible for its sin, I'm responsible for the rest. No. On the Day of Judgment, the entire body is going to suffer. So when we think about some of the things that we do, we often minimalize it. We say that, yeah, no, I didn't intend this, or I would have said it in front of him. Oh, it's true. We try to justify it. We should never look for justification. Being mindful of the words that come from our mouths is extremely important. And like the hadith says, every morning, my hands are saying, Ya Allah, I'm only responsible for so much. The tongue is more responsible. The feet are going to say, Ya Allah, we're only responsible for so much. Don't put it on our shoulders, put it on the tongue. And that's why, as I mentioned just the other day, on the Day of Judgment, there are a group of people who are going to be put away from the Prophet ﷺ. They're going to be put at a distance. They are الثرثارون والمتشدقون والمتفيهقون. One of them is the tharthar. Tharthar is the person who's just chatting all the time. Every time you see him, he's always saying something, like he's eating. His mouth's always moving. No matter what the situation, positive, negative, his mouth's always moving. We all know some people like that, where the guy just doesn't stay quiet. They call him BBC News. Whenever you want to know something, there's always that one person in the community that he's always going to talk. So you go to him and you're like, hey, what's the latest news? What's the latest chai, gupshup? Give me some tea. And everybody likes talking like that. But on the Day of Judgment, that person is in the worst state, because he was opening his mouth, or she was opening and moving her mouth, but she now faces the repercussions. So controlling our tongue, biting our tongue, subhanAllah, the pain that we feel in biting our tongue, literally biting it, when you accidentally bite your tongue, it's one of the most painful things. You're eating, you accidentally bite your tongue. It doesn't only stay for that time, even later on you have a swelling. Whenever you eat something spicy, it continues to burn. That is nothing. On the Day of Judgment, some of the deeds we do, we would wish that we bit our tongue off instead of saying those things, because it would be a reason for us to go to Jahannam. Being in control of our tongues. There's a lot to say, but for right now, let's remember this very beautiful hadith, that every morning, every limb seeks forgiveness from Allah for our tongue. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala not hold us accountable for our weaknesses, and may He grant us control over our tongues and what we say. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Jazakumullahu khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.